Of a mother and 10-year-old child who were shot and killed inside their apartment on Sunday night, just wrapping up a vigil in their honor.
As ABC Action News reporter JJ Burton reveals, they died after an argument about watching football. JJ?
Yeah, we want to show you right over there a teddy bear and some candles that some neighbors put up in honoring the mother and the 10-year-old child. Now, they say they didn't know the mom well, but a lot of them knew the 10-year-old. They say he was quiet, but he always stepped up to help and even knocked on doors asking if they needed help taking out the trash.
The little boy was so respectful and he had such amazing manners.
Yarlis Perez is a neighbor. She told me about the time he helped her after she broke her foot.
He came up to me, he was like, "Oh, are you okay? Are you okay?" And then he called for help for me. He called 911.
She says she broke down after deputies told her Tyrone Johnson shot and killed the 10-year-old and his mother.
It was so shocking and devastating to me.
Johnson told detectives an argument over watching a football game started this. He says the two attacked him after he tried to leave. Detectives and domestic violence experts says his story doesn't add up.
I don't buy a word he's saying.
Deputies have been called out to this apartment twice in the past year over domestic disputes. Johnson wasn't involved in either of those cases. We looked into his background and didn't find a history of domestic violence.
At the end of the day, it's still, there's someone in that house who thinks that he has a right to harm someone else.
And this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. If you or anyone you know is in a domestic violence situation, we have contact information on our website that can help you. People here in Tampa Bay area ready to help you if you need. You can go to our website, abcactionnews.com, and you get that information. Just click on this story. Reporting live in Tampa, JJ Burton, ABC Action News.
Rest in peace to this mother and her 10-year-old son. Now, police have been called in the past to her house for domestic violence. So she does have a history of picky men who go oops upside her head. Okay? Now, the neighbors are saying the 10-year-old boy was very respectful. He would call the ambulance and he would help out and, ask people, "Hey, do you need me to take out your garbage?" A real respectable, reliable, wholesome young black male. So because Pookie did not want to compromise, he said, "Listen, I want to watch this football game, NFL, and if I don't get a chance to watch it, I will kill you both." This is a crazy story. It's so much going on. This have kind of got swept under the rug. And I said, I have to talk about this one. And what makes this case, this situation unique, he doesn't have a criminal history of domestic violence. So this came out of nowhere. Now, I don't know his full jail record, but as far as beating women and killing women or children is not in his criminal file. So what made him do this? What made him tick so bad? Who was it that he had to watch so bad that it had to cost a mother and her innocent 10-year-old son life? Who was playing? The Chiefs? The Buccaneers? The Dolphins? The Saints? Raiders? So much he had to kill both of them. And this is a lesson to a lot of you single mothers. Single mothers do not want to be labeled as single mothers, so they'll just date any guy. They'll just say, "Hey, I'll date you." Because being seen as a single mother makes her feel like people look at her as a whore, even if she isn't a whore. So she'll date any guy to squash that stereotype or that image. And then she picks the wrong guy and then he kills her and her 10-year-old son. Blow their brains out, strangle them. I remember there was a story about 10 years ago where a female's boyfriend beat up her son so badly that he was inches of his death and picked her up from work with him in the back seat beat up, looking like that. Pookie and Ray Ray, mentally disabled, a savage. And a lot of these single women should stay single. Get yourself together. Bond with you and your children. If you can't bond with you and your children and the children's father, then bond with your children. Spend as much time with them as you can, okay? Don't fall into the pressure of society because it will cost you. And I am not going to be lumped up with these group of men. So I make a difference, okay? Just like in the Bible, God made a difference between the Egyptians and Israelites. Yeah, you're the same color, but you're different in culture. I'm different in culture than the majority of people. Period. This paints an eye on black men, and I'm calling it out. If you don't like it, oh well. This is disgusting. If you are for black men like you say you are, this story should disgust you. You should be upset this 10-year-old boy lost his life because his mother's nut job boyfriend couldn't watch the NFL. And these women do not screen these men they date. They just bring them into the house. And then these young boys and these young girls see these men come in and out, 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 like the famous West Coast hamburger stand. You guys date these men, these psycho men, you single mothers, you get desperate and you date these men. You date these men and they're filling on your daughters. They're filling on your sons, beating your sons to death. And people wonder why black men grow up to be the way black men are. You have prime examples taking place in the media as we speak right now. All of your questions are being answered as of now in the media. Now you see why these young boys are growing up in the mind frame that they are. The conditions they are in. And then I totally understand living here in America. It is expensive. So being a single parent, whether you're a single father or a single mother, is very, very hard, which is understandable. However, are you going to risk the life of yourself and your child because you can't be alone? It's time for people, not just women, people to start critically thinking. Critically thinking. This stuff can be avoidable. Why does she date dysfunctional men like this? Why does she date men who beat her up? Why does she feel as though that she can't get better? Yeah, the police were called for domestic violence, but not from him, from other men, previous men that she's dated. So she has a history of dating Pookies and Ray Rays, dysfunctional black men. And because she has made a career in dating dysfunctional black men, where is the child's father at also? And I was looking at her picture and she is a attractive woman and he looks like a monster, literally. She could have done way better than that. Way better than that. Way better. He looks like a monster.